Well, I'm a deal maker. I'll make great deals for this country. Ben can't do that. Ben's a doctor, and he's not a deal maker. And I'll make great deals for our country, which is very important. And I see it yesterday in Iowa. The place was going wild. We had record crowds. And they want competence. They want deal making. Ben is not a deal maker at all, and I don't think would be a very good. I don't think that's his natural ability at all.
And welcome back to the Daily Wrap. According to the latest Quinnipiac poll, it appears that Republican voters in Iowa do not quite agree with Mr. Trump when it comes to Dr. Ben Carson's desirability as a presidential candidate. According to the poll, retired neurosurgeon Ben Carson leads the Republican field with 28%, while Trump has fallen behind with just 20%. Back in September, that same poll had Donald Trump in the lead with 27% and Ben Carson in second place with 21%. So given that this is the first time we've seen Trump overcome in any poll that I can think of, what has gone right for Carson in Iowa, or what has gone wrong for Donald Trump in Iowa? Noah, I think you might have the answer.
I have a theory here. Donald Trump's polling has been remarkably consistent across the fall nationally, but he's fallen here and not anywhere else, and I think for only one reason. One reason alone, and that's because negative ads are on the air. The Club for Growth has been filing a $1 million ad buy since September. This is the first poll in the field. Over the course of that period, it's a real good pollster. I think it's registering a dip because they are hammering Donald Trump on being a Democrat all of an hour and a half ago, constantly hammering him on not having conservative positions. And I don't think Ben Carson is moving up so much as Donald Trump is moving down, and he's their next choice.
Adam, Noah makes a great point, and I have to believe he's got it right. This is the first place we are seeing negative advertising on the air attacking Trump. It hasn't happened before. Right. And the result, he's down substantially in the poll there. Does this mean that Trump may be far more susceptible to negative advertising around the country than we've been considering?
Every candidate is susceptible to negative ads, but there's always that initial period. The ads come out. You take a real big drop in the poll sometimes, but then people get used to seeing those ads and the effect wears off. And there'll also be positive ads that Trump can counter with that he'll start running to say that those either aren't true or whatever.
We'll get to you in a second, but Noah, you have a response to that.
Well, that's the question now, isn't it? Does Donald Trump engage in a traditional campaign? Does he spend? Does he ad buy? Does he burn cash in Iowa? Does he get into a real fist fight here? Because as of now, he's been running on free media, and he hasn't had the opportunity, he hasn't had the ability to spend in these places, the interest in spending in these places.
Before I let you answer, because we have breaking news I want to share, the Associated Press is now reporting that Paul Ryan will in fact become the next Speaker of the House. So there you have it. Now back to this.
So what we need to look at here, and what all the other candidates need to look at, the percentage that Trump has lost, Carson gained. This sends a clear message that Iowa does not want another political insider. That is something that's being overlooked greatly, I think. It doesn't matter, Carson, Trump, whatever.
At this stage,
at this time,
I think that's true. But that's pretty much the story everywhere for the Republicans.
But look at, a lot of people say, well, Cruz is my second choice or whatever. Instead of going to Cruz or something like that, the exact percentage that Donald Trump lost went exactly to Carson.
Actually, I'm going to make a correction. They just told me what the AP reported was that Paul Ryan has now officially declared his candidacy, which, by the way, means that he has become the next Speaker of the House.
This just in, Carl Higbee reports that he will be the next Speaker.
Yeah. You're really taking a chance there, man, stepping out on that one.
He's not getting the majority of the majority.
I think my friend Ryan Zinke may have.
All right, so here's the question I want to ask about this next. We do see that Trump is vulnerable.
Right.
He's vulnerable to negative advertising. Are we beginning to see what the silver bullet is for the establishment? We've been hearing all week that the establishment is out to get Donald Trump. Oh, yeah. Is this the silver bullet that's going to get it done? No.
Well, I want to know whether or not this affects his campaign in the form of the sense that he's the winner, right? All he does is win. He delivers wins. So many wins, you're going to get tired of winning. He's losing. Does that affect his image with his supporters? Does his image as an unassailable winner who just endlessly wins stop now and take the bloom off the rose?
Right. What is the rattling effect is that this shows voters that he may not have what it takes to win.
I want to add something to the conversation. We're on the subject of Dr. Carson. He has once again introduced a somewhat unusual suggestion into the dialogue, and he did so during this discussion with Glenn Beck.
Shut down the Department of Education.
I actually have something I would use the Department of Education to do.
Would it be pack boxes for the State Department? The IRS?
No, it would be to monitor our institutions of higher education for extreme political bias and deny federal funding if it exists.
So quickly, Carson would use the Department of Education to monitor and determine if there is extreme political bias in classes on the nation's campuses. I know that many people believe that professors tend to lean way to the right. But let me just ask left.
Whoa.
But let me just ask the question this way. What?
Very
Quickly.
Very scary, very scary.
Quickly.
No
Madness.
censorship.
You don't police free speech.
Quickly.
No, can't do
Okay,
it.
we all agree on that. We want to know what you think about Ben Carson leading Iowa, as well as his plans for the Department of Education to police colleges for political bias, should he win the White House. Go to newsmaxtv.com/comments and let us know. Coming up, viewer comments.